Natalie has specialized in mental, emotional, and spiritual health, as well as lifestyle and stress management. And she's also certified on Ayurvedic practitioner as Ayurvedic practitioner and health coach with a 500 hours certified yoga instructor and have completed a BA in criminology and psychology with honors. So we have a pro here joining us. Thank you, Michelle. There, you're from the Philippines as well, so very excited. And again, you're going to have the chat available for you throughout this whole webinar. But also, if you feel like you want to raise your hand during the Q&A, you want to participate and go back and forth with us, feel absolutely free to raise your hand. We can activate your microphone so we can have a chat as well. And if not, if you are still at work or still doing something else, you're more than welcome to share with us any question you have or doubt through the chat. So, hi, Luisa. We see you're from the Philippines as well. So, amazing. Thank you very much. So, now that the rules has been set, Natalie, I want to give the floor to you so we can start, and we want to encourage everyone to be super focused and really here because we're going to have some really exciting and interesting exercises. So Natalie, the floor is yours.
Cool. Thank you so much. All right, I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. We'll do a slide presentation. Uh, hope that works. Okay, can everybody see that? Okay, perfect.
Awesome.
All right. Except, how can I? There we go. Okay. So welcome everybody. Thank you for being here today to talk about self-touch as part of a daily routine. It is a topic that I am super passionate about. But before we dive in, I am going to invite you to do a couple of things. One, I'm not sure, Rodrigo, if they can turn their videos on, but if you feel like you would like to put your video on, I love to see faces so that I'm actually talking to people, and I encourage you to go ahead and do that. If you don't want to, that's totally fine too. I also invite you to grab a pen and a paper or an electronic device that you can take notes on and jot down any questions that you might have. Thank you, Luisa, for turning on your video. Yay, Sun also. Awesome. Okay, thank you for your participation. Yeah, so grab a pen or an electronic device that you can take notes and jot down questions on so that when we come to the Q&A, you don't do like I often do in webinars and forget my question or the little points that I want to take note of. I truly, truly love what I do. And if I can in any way answer your questions and help you get started living your best life today, I would love to be able to do that for you. So go ahead and write those questions down, and we're going to do some Q&A before we take a little break. And then at the end of the session as well, I'll check in with you guys to see what you have to say. Welcome, Michelle. All right, so who am I exactly? Rodrigo gave me a little bit of an introduction, but I would like to introduce myself a little more formally. My name is Natalie, and I'm a health and lifestyle coach who specializes in mental, emotional, and spiritual well-being, as well as lifestyle and stress management, like was indicated. And I integrate, meaning I put together all of my life lessons from Ayurveda and yoga to modern psychology and behavior modification to help people break free from feeling stuck or overwhelmed. And I guide them in reclaiming their personal power to create a fulfilling, really purpose-fueled life that they truly love. And the reason that my approach to working with people has been so effective is because it starts with self-awareness. And that's going to be a theme that runs through our conversation this evening. So when we talk about self-awareness in this context, we're specifically talking about being conscious of the daily habits that either promote or hinder our well-being on a daily basis throughout the day. So when we understand how our daily actions shape our overall happiness, we gain the power to make small yet meaningful shifts that actually create very significant lasting transformation. And that's really a key, is that we want to make small shifts that have significant impact in our life. And self-touch is one of those things. All right. So today we're going to talk about something profoundly simple, yet profoundly impactful, just like I said, and that is self-touch. This concept is about using daily self-care practices to bring more self-awareness, balance, and happiness into our life. And I'm going to show you how small intentional habits can have a major impact on your mental, emotional, and physical well-being. By the end of this presentation, you'll understand why self-touch matters, how you can incorporate simple practices into your life starting today, and what holds people back from self-care. So let's dive in. Okay, we're going to start with why self-touch matters. And we're going to look at the science and philosophy of self-touch. So our bodies and our minds are deeply interconnected. The two are inseparable. We like to maybe think about the mind in a certain way and then the body in a certain way, but they are so intertwined that they're pretty much one in the same. We just use them in such a way that it feels like we have two separate things going on. Science continues to prove how physical touch can influence our mental and emotional well-being. Research shows that human touch releases oxytocin, which is called the love hormone. When we touch someone or ourselves, or we are touched by someone, this releases a hormone that makes us feel connected, close, cared for, loved. This so-called love hormone helps to reduce stress, blood pressure, and promotes overall happiness. Gentle, intentional touch can also activate the parasympathetic nervous system. And what that does is it shifts us out of stress mode into a state of calm and relaxation. According to Ayurvedic teachings, which is the ancient Indian philosophy and system of health, having a daily routine in general, not just with self-touch, but a daily routine in general, is the #1 way to help reduce stress and live a more balanced life. A daily routine that includes self-touch practices like self-massage, or what Ayurveda calls abhyanga, have been used for centuries to ground the nervous system, increase circulation, and regulate emotions. I'm curious if you want to raise your hand, show of hands, for people who know what Ayurveda is and what those teachings are. Anybody know what that is? All right. I'm not seeing any hands raised. So I just want to give, okay, cool, Rodrigo, that's awesome. I want to just give a little bit of background into what Ayurveda is. Ayurveda is the science of life. Ayu is life, Veda means knowledge. So it means the knowledge of life. And these teachings go back 5,000 years. They say that it may even be the earliest form of system of medicine that exists to us. And in it encourages us to live in harmony with nature. So by looking at the nature around us as well as the nature within us, we're able to find balance through certain characteristics that make it really simple for us to understand why it is that we feel out of balance. So that's just a little background into how Ayurveda works. And I'd be happy to answer any questions about Ayurveda at the end of this presentation. All right. So when we touch ourselves with care, Whether through a simple face massage or placing our hands over our heart, or maybe even rubbing our feet before bed, we send a powerful message to our nervous system that says, I am safe, I am loved, and I am cared for. This simple act can be a form of self-connection and self-compassion that helps us feel more balanced and present in life. In our fast-paced world that overemphasizes the intellect over the bodily awarenesses, it's easy to become disconnected from our own bodies and how we feel. And when this happens, when we become disconnected, it can leave us living in a chronic state of stress or discontent that we may or may not even be aware of. This is the mind-body connection. When we focus mostly on the mind and the body gets neglected, there's a disconnect that happens in the body and the mind, both of them together. And we tend to feel out of sorts, not clear-minded, stress starts to happen. It's kind of a snowball effect. But the truth is, just a few minutes of intentional self-touch every day can make a very noticeable difference in how we feel and our general contentment in life. The key to making this work is that we want to make it a practice, meaning something that you do that's as natural and essential as brushing your teeth every day. We want to look at self-touch as a part of self-care that we need to have as much as we brush our teeth. All right. So let's go over some simple self-touch techniques that you can start using right away. So as I mentioned before, abhyanga or self-massage is often done in the morning time before you shower, encouraging you to use a lot of warm oil, delicious oil for your body. This is coming from Ayurveda, encouraging you to massage yourself every morning. By massaging yourself every morning, especially with oil, it nourishes the skin, it calms the nervous system, and it sets kind of a peaceful tone for the day. Again, sending out that oxytocin from our hormones, making us feel good. And when we combine this with good quality oil, it also nourishes or feeds the good bacteria of the body. So we have bacteria all over our body, and when we put oil on it, that oil is food for the good bacteria. We're giving it healthy foods. So when they have good bacteria, that translate into good bacteria for our gut, and it also improves our digestion and elimination. All right, the next kind of touch is when we touch our face, our hands, our feet. When we do this throughout the day, gentle massaging of the hands or feet can help release tension and reset your focus in a matter of seconds, really. The next I would encourage you is when we connect our breath and our touch together, this also gives instant stress relief. By placing a hand on your heart and one on your belly while taking deep breaths, it can instantly calm anxiety and bring you back to the present moment. So these are just a few small practices that you can do, a few minutes of a day to create long-lasting benefits. But here's the thing. Touching ourselves can feel strange or awkward at first. If we're not used to doing it, it can just be kind of mindless. We'll touch our face, but I don't feel anything. What's supposed to happen? I don't know what's there. And we also have what is holding us back from common barriers to wanting to do self-care. Sorry about that. And we're going to talk about that in a minute. But first, to get over this little barrier of, okay, so what, self-touch, I'd like for us to do a couple of little exercises together. I'm going to start by guiding you through a face massage, as well as a short practice that I call touch discovery that can help us get started being more comfortable with doing this kind of self-care. And for this, I am going to stop the share. And I do notice y'all turned off your cameras, but I am going to turn mine back on and be in front of you. And I would love for you to come back. So I'm going to stop the share right now so that you can see me and see that I'm real. I'm actually here in front of you. And we're going to go into the first exercise, and that's going to be a face massage. And for this, I'm going to take my glasses off. And I'm going to demonstrate first, for just to give you an idea. I'm going to take my thumbs and I'm going to place them in the corner of my eye sockets, just underneath the ridge of the bone that's there of the eye socket. And then I'm going to squeeze my eyebrows along the sides. Then I'm going to take my index finger, make little circles, two fingers, and bring them back. But I'm going to guide you through this. So I'm going to encourage you, I wanted to show you first, but I'm going to encourage you to close down your eyes as you do this. Just listen to my voice and I will guide you through it. So go ahead and close your eyes and start with relaxing your face. And when you relax your face, I'm going to encourage you to release the tongue from the top of the mouth. We often have the tongue glued up there when we're nervous or there's tension in the body. By relaxing the tongue, you're giving a signal to the body that I'm safe, I'm okay to give this a try right now. Eyes are soft. And just notice 2 or 3 breaths, noticing your breath. Allow your belly to be soft. All right, keeping that face nice and soft. Let's go ahead and take those thumbs and place them in the corner of the eye socket very gently. And you're going to start just by palpating, meaning just pushing in and out very, very gently until you notice the kind of pressure that feels good for you. And then if you like, you can make little circles, very little circles, just to feel into what's going on in there. Make sure the jaw is relaxed, the face is soft as you do this, and you're breathing. All right, as fast or as slow that feels good to you, but try different speeds. Get a sense of what that feels like. You may start to notice a pulsation that's there, totally normal. Just feeling into that. All right. Now we're going to go ahead and pinch those eyebrows slowly. Give a pinch at the top, slowly moving those fingers down, pinch a little bit more. Our eyebrows move a lot during the day that we're not even aware of, and these little muscles around the eyebrows get a workout constantly. So let's do that 2 or 3 times, starting at the center, coming back down, breathing, relaxing the face as you do it, and just feeling into it. Really allow yourself to feel how that feels to touch yourself. All right, last time. And this time when we come to the end, we're going to place the index finger at the corners of the eyes. And like we did in the corner of the eye inside, we're going to first press and release. Just press and release. Feeling what pressure feels nice to you, and then make little circles. Once again, as fast or as slow as feels good to you, with as much or as little pressure as feels right to you. Relaxed tongue, making sure that tongue's not on the roof of the mouth, soft face. And you're breathing. All right, we're going to invite the middle finger to join the index finger, and we're going to slide the fingers back so they're above the ears, kind of at the back of the temple. And same thing, little circles, deciding on the pressure that is right for you. And breathing, soft face. All right, one more time around. And this time we're going to press and hold. I'm going to encourage you to push a little bit deeper as your face is relaxed. And then very slowly start to release that. Go slow, releasing the pressure, releasing the pressure, releasing the pressure until your fingers come off your skull. And slowly bring the hands back down to your thighs, keeping your eyes closed. Just notice how your body feels now. Take a moment to really check in. Maybe you notice a difference between now and when you first tried the exercise. I'm going to invite you to take that paper and pen or electronic device and just write down whatever came up for you, whatever thoughts, whatever feelings were present there. Remember, there's no right or wrong, there's no judgment, just whatever actually happened for you. Yay, Mark, that's awesome. Thank you for sharing. Yeah, I can't wait till we have a chat in a minute. Cool. All right, go ahead and shake that off now. Give yourself just a little shake. Just a little bit of side information. Yay, relaxing, Louisa. A little side information. When we shake our body, it's similar to touch. And what this does is it activates our lymphatic system, and shaking helps the lymph move in the body. And our lymphatic system is our detox system. So that means we're sending a signal to our body that we can release things that no longer serve us when we shake. So we're shaking it out. We're shaking out that exercise before we go into our next exercise. And this is what I call I'm sorry, I'm just going to read Andrea's note here. Wow, I felt a particular relaxation on the chest. Yeah, that heart opener, right? There's that love hormone. Awesome, you guys. I love the participation. All right, so we're moving next into touch discovery. And if you loved the last one, I think you're going to love this. All right. I'm going to sit up a little taller here in my chair. Your brows feel more relaxed. Yeah, we don't realize how much muscles it takes to move our face all day long. That's so great. All right. So I'm going to sit up nice and tall. I'm going to do like last time and demonstrate touch discovery. What we're going to do is we're going to take our arms, we're going to place our hand over hand. And we're going to start without touching. And what we're going to do is move the hands back and forth, maybe all around the hands. If you want to do this with eyes closed, you can go ahead and do that. So we're going to start with just this. Feel free to close your eyes and just maybe even move even slower. You want to feel between the hands. So what does the air feel like on your skin here? Can you feel any heat coming from your hands? Just notice what that feels. Are there sensations that start to happen when you give yourself the space to feel the space between your hands? And like before, I encourage you as much as possible to try and keep that face relaxed, tongue released from the top of the mouth. And breathe. Try not to hold your breath. All right. We're going to start to go a little bit deeper, and now we're just going to gently touch the fingertips to the skin. Really, really gently, softly, just feeling your own skin with the most gentle touch. Feel free to go all the way up the arms if you like, especially if you got short sleeves on. Over the hands, back of the hand. All right, we're going to go a little bit deeper now. We're going to start to knead into that or massage a little bit deeper. And whatever that feels like for you, notice your bones, notice your muscles, notice the tendons. Your breathing, your face is relaxed. All right, we're gonna go a little bit deeper even now, and we're gonna like scratch the skin. And notice how that feels. Face is relaxed, tongue is relaxed. Remember that you are in control here. You can go as strong or as soft as feels right to you. We're going to go one level deeper if you're okay with it. If it doesn't feel right, that's okay too. And we're going to pinch the skin, giving little pinches. All right, I'm going to encourage you now. That was our last step. I'm going to encourage you to close your eyes, play with those 5 different sensations, pick the one that feels right to you, and just go deeper into it. Really allow yourself to feel what that feels like for you. Notice any thoughts that might be coming up. All right, just a few more seconds. All right, I'm going to encourage you, bring your hands to your heart, eyes closed, and just take a moment to thank yourself for participating in this exercise, giving yourself some self-love this evening and gratitude for that moment. All right. Then you can go ahead, grab your pen and paper, write down a few notes of whatever came up for you. All right. And once again, if you'd like to share this time and you would like to type it or you would like to put your video on and share, I would love to hear from you. We're going to take these feedbacks right now. And then after this, we're going to take a short break. Rodrigo is going to come back on. So if you would like to share, I would love to hear from you.
Awesome. So let me join in. So I mean, I was I was also doing these practices as you saw. It's crazy. The first time I think I think that reflects on a few of the comments. So guys, please feel free to go deeper if you want. If you have any question or you want to go ask something more specific, maybe. But what we just saw, we have a couple of minutes before we go to like a really quick break. Um, but you know, when you start explaining this, the first thought came to my mind was the tapping technique, you know, but
Yes,
it's not the same.
EFT.
How can
Yeah.
we do or state that the difference between what tapping might be and what self-touch and coming from the um, Ayurveda, which is how we mention it here.
Yeah.
What's really the difference there, or there are similarities?
There's absolutely similarities and overlap. So when we do EFT, when we do this tapping, what
Hmm.
we're doing is invoking the connection between the mind and the body. So we generally tap when we're uncomfortable about something or we're trying to change something. This is the
Hmm.
premise behind EFT. And I'm not fully educated in
Right.
EFT, just the common stuff that I know.
Hmm.
So we're tapping into the nervous system response that we're having to an experience that we
Hmm.
had, to a thought. Our thoughts come from our experiences. And so when we're doing this touch, and the touch that I'm guiding you through is actually what is called marma techniques, and this is from Ayurveda, and it's similar to pressure point. So it's very
Hmm.
similar to the EFT. I love that you picked up on that. And in Ayurveda, we want to palpate, meaning just push gently and
Hmm.
see where our level, our threshold level of pleasure, discomfort, pain is
Right.
at. And then little circles to move that energy through the body. We want to move that
Like
energy
release
in
it.
different spots. release that energy
Uh-huh.
when it's caught. So,
Right.
and it's similar to that tapping technique.
Gotcha.
Does that answer your
Gotcha.
question?
Yes, absolutely, absolutely. I think it works to understand a little bit better, more than the similarities, the difference,
Yeah. The underlying thing for both of them is that it connects the experience to your nervous system.
hmm
And so what we're trying to do is shift a nervous system response that might be incorrect or out of balance. So
right.
if we are in this chronic state of
hmm
stress because we're disconnecting our mind from our body,
Right.
by reconnecting to the body through touch, and we're going to talk about that in a second, we are able to help balance that nervous system response, that stress response that we
Right.
get that is out of whack, it's dysregulated, and we
hmm
want to bring it back into harmony and balance.
Right. Sweet. I mean, I feel like it was crazy the fact that and Michelle said it, my bros feel more relaxed. But the fact that and you were just saying, and especially if you are someone who is very, has a lot of expressions and use a lot the brows, because I think those are one of the main features in our face that shows our expressions,
Mm-hmm.
or enhance it. We really use the muscle a lot, and I don't think I have never thought about it or even just like massaging it or going near there,
Right.
So it's crazy because it really connects you to some places that you don't know need that connection, right?
Right. We don't realize that we're neglecting our
Right.
body in that way. We use
Right.
so many muscles all day long. Our skin covers our entire body that's moving us throughout our day.
hmm
And by not paying attention to it, we're not necessarily noticing when it's tired, right? We've kind of blanked that out. Our body can't recognize all the time because we would never get through our day. So it's important that we take the time to like, how did my body react today? And touch our hands, touch our feet, touch our face, and see what that brings for us. What does our body communicate to us when we touch it?
Right, absolutely. I think that's great, and I hope this is working for you guys. It's helping you. It's giving you like new perspectives, like the same way it's working and helping me. So we're gonna take a really, really quick break. Please don't go anywhere because we have 20 more minutes of knowledge from Nathalie that she's come to share with us. So we're also gonna give her a quick break so she can have a sip of water or something.
Mm-hmm.
So while we wait, I want to share with you a little video. Unfortunately, Cyrus, who's part of our team, had a inconvenience and wasn't able to join us, but he prepared a small video. So you guys also, if you wanna just use this break for a second to go and grab some water or just like stretch a little or keep working on those exercises Natalie just shared with us, you can also do that. More than welcome. But while we did that, and we are gonna share Cyrus has prepared for us, because he's gonna tell us a little bit more about the university. And if you have any questions also about it, I will be happy to answer it. And if you have questions for Natalie, please type them on the chat box. But please don't go anywhere because we will be back in exactly 5 minutes.
Hi everyone, my name is Haris and I'm delighted to have all of you here today and excited to offer you a quick tour to Utel University. So first I would like to actually share the impressive numbers that define our global presence and showcase why Utel University is at the forefront of transforming education worldwide. So with great pride we can say that our students and alumni community spans across the globe with over 150,000 students and graduates from every corner of the world. And of course, behind that success lies a dedicated team of over 3,000 professionals committed to delivering excellence in education. UTEL's faculties also consist of over 900 teachers, all right, each bringing a wealth of knowledge, expertise, and real-world experience to the classroom. And with over 45 courses available, UTEL offers a diverse range of academic programs. And it is important to note that all of these programs, of course, have official validity, ensuring the recognition and credibility of the education that you will be receiving throughout your journey. as a pioneer in online education, Utel actually already have over 12 years of experience in the field. All right, and lastly, Utel has a global presence with students from more than 60 countries spread across 5 continents. So that's a quick glimpse to show where Utel currently stands. All right, and now I'll actually be sharing Utel's prestigious accreditations and memberships. So, as a renowned institutions of higher education, Utel has actually achieved accreditation from SEP, FIMPES, and ASIC. So, Utel's official validation or accreditation is granted by SEP. So, SEP, or Secretaría de Educación Pública, is the government agency responsible for overseeing all the educational levels in Mexico. All right, so SEP's accreditation ensures that UTEL meets the highest quality standard and operates within the legal framework established by the Mexican government. And while UTEL could have actually operated solely with SEP's accreditation, with its commitment to quality, UTEL went above and beyond to obtain additional accreditations from FIMPES in Mexico as well as ASIC in the United Kingdom. So UTEL knows that obtaining additional accreditations would actually further enhance our educational offerings and demonstrate our dedication to meeting global standards of excellence. Anyway, apart from its validations, UTEL also proudly holds membership in AAOU, AUAP, and all of the other organizations that we actually have listed on the screen right now. All right, so these organizations actually play significant roles in encouraging collaboration, promoting quality education, and advancing innovative practices in higher education. So Utel also has partnered with global brands for some of our content types. So for example, Google and Facebook, these two industry leaders actually have joined forces with our master's program in digital marketing and e-commerce to provide our students with unparalleled expertise and insights. All right, and CFAL Unitar brings a wealth of expertise and global perspectives to our Masters in Public Administration. So now allow me actually to share our institutional values. So UTEL is really committed to helping people become unstoppable. All right, that's the mission. All right, help them become unstoppable through education and do so backed by the following values: innovation, flexibility, inclusivity, commitment to quality. So I really just wanted to highlight on that, and humanism. So we make sure that we understand the diversity of cultures among our students and alumni in such a way that we can always help them move forward. All right, so right now we will actually explore the diverse range of programs and the educational model that UTEL University offers to students. So 100% online programs. So indeed, okay, so you won't have to worry about waking up an hour or two early for your travel. All right, so you can simply study at the comfort of your home. Maybe even just wake up. Well, you can actually wake up anytime. There's no specific time for you to access your study materials. You have yourself to actually manage your schedule. Okay, again, you can study anytime during the day, and then just complete your activities as well before it actually before the deadline of it. So in Asia, right? In Asia, currently we have 8 bachelor's degrees available and 6 master's degrees. All right, under School of Management, Humanities, Arts, and Social Sciences, and School of Engineering. So here are the 8 bachelor's programs available currently. So the top popular courses in Asia would be the Computer Engineering, Business Administration, and Management. And here are the master's degrees, 6 master's degrees. And most popular would be the data science for business, education, and business administration. So UTEL's educational model embraces collaborative work with learning community and flexibility. So as for student support, you'll be provided with support from our student success advisors to guide you every step of the way. So from your day one up to the end of your journey, you'll have your student success advisors to guide you throughout your journey at Utel. So as for your study materials, you'll actually have access to your study materials through our virtual campus and virtual libraries. So again, 24/7, it's available for you. You can study anytime, anywhere that best suits you. All right, and apart from these, Utel actually also holds events such as Discovery Day and Utel Talks. So, such as this, where we're currently at, these events. So these events are actually serves as a platform for networking and connecting with experienced industry professionals, creating opportunities for growth and development. So yeah, again, 24/7 virtual classroom, anytime, anywhere. So imagine that you can be on a vacation and yet you're still getting the valued education that you deserve. So normally, probably just 2 to 3 hours a day can actually get you can get you better equipped for your future. So definitely ideal for awesome individuals that has at least 2 to 3 hours a day to become more unstoppable in the future. All right, so
Alrighty, there we are. So we're back. So if you have any further question, I'm gonna be sharing links in a while. But if you are interested in continuing your academic journey, your professional journey, here you have an option with us. Again, as Cyrus mentioned on the video, you can go at your own pace. You can work on your hours and not having compromised your job, your time with your family, or any other time you have already designated for different things in your life going on. You can also add Utel University as an option if you want to keep growing professionally and academically. So I will be sharing links in a little bit. So now we are back, and I want to bring back um, Nathalie, and here she is, because we still have a couple of minutes left, and she still have a few slides. So Nathalie,
Yep.
let's just go and keep going. I'm gonna leave you to it.
Yeah, I'm going to go right into sharing my screen again, and we're going to look at some common barriers to why we don't do our self-care. So if self-touch is so beneficial, why don't more people do it? Why do we struggle with self-care? And the truth is, we struggle because of deeply ingrained beliefs and habits. Let's look at some of the most common barriers. Number one, people always say, I don't have time. I don't have time to take care of myself. Many people believe that self-care is a luxury rather than a necessity, right? I go for a massage. No, that's too fancy for me. I'm not going to do that. Or even give myself a massage. But in reality, when we just take 5 minutes for ourselves, we can actually increase our energy, increase our focus, and our productivity. Like it really doesn't take that long at all, but we tend to put it aside. It's not about finding extra time. It's about shifting our priorities. The next one that I have is guilt or discomfort. Some people feel selfish prioritizing themselves to say, oh yeah, I should be doing it. But, in the back of my mind, I have this belief that maybe I don't deserve it. Especially if you're used to putting other people before you, which a lot of us do. I'll take care of everybody else before I take care of myself. But the reality of that is you can't pour from an empty cup. When we don't take care of ourselves, we drain ourselves of energy, and then we're left with very little to give. But when you care for yourself first, you have more energy, more patience, and more presence for the people and responsibilities in your life. Now, the third one is kind of a can of worms, and that is our subconscious resistance. Often there are hidden beliefs that make self-care feel unnatural or unimportant. And I just kind of mentioned one before. When we feel guilty, really what's underneath that is maybe this sense of, I'm not good enough. I don't feel important enough. If you were raised in an environment where self-sacrifice was praised, meaning I always put myself last, you may struggle to put yourself first, even when it's necessary. The key to overcoming these barriers is to shift our mindset. Self-care is not indulgent. It's essential. When you nurture yourself, every aspect of your life benefits. Your relationships improve, your work becomes more focused, and your overall happiness increases. So how do we shift our mindset? If anybody has an answer, I'd love to hear it. Anybody? Anybody? How do we shift our mindset?
Let's see if anyone wants to share that.
That's
Yeah,
okay.
let's give
I'll
me.
go on. Yeah. So it brings us to the first role of subconscious beliefs in shaping our behavior. And we'll switch slides. Okay. So most of our daily decisions and behaviors, about 95% worth, are influenced by subconscious belief. That means 95% of what we do in the day is influenced by things that we're not necessarily aware of. Our subconscious beliefs are deep-seated perceptions that are formed in childhood and reinforced through life experiences. These beliefs act as an internal operating system, shaping how we see ourselves and our worth and what we believe is possible for us. All of this without us really knowing. Not only are we unaware of them, but also many of these beliefs stem from past experiences that are often misinterpreted or outdated. They don't belong anymore. We develop these when we're very young. And so our belief systems when we're young versus where we are today, there's a big difference, but we don't necessarily bring awareness to the fact that we're operating from what we learned when we were children. So this means that operating in this way means that rather than serve and support our well-being, our actions and behaviors are actually hurting or hindering us from living our best life. So for example, if you saw that your caregivers neglected their own well-being, you may have learned to do the same for yourself and not even realize it. Another example is if you internalize the idea that success requires constant hustle and exhaustion, that the only way to success is through hard work, you may feel guilt or shame when you slow down and rest. Because subconscious beliefs operate beneath our conscious awareness, they create patterns of behavior that seem automatic. As mentioned earlier, even when they don't serve us, they're automatic in this way. So this is why people repeatedly experience relationship issues, burnout, struggle with setting boundaries, or find themselves stuck in cycles of self-sabotage. So to truly change our mindset, when we ask the question, how do we change our mindset and build sustainable self-care habits, we want to address those subconscious beliefs that are holding us back. Once we bring those subconscious beliefs to light, we can begin replacing them with healthier, more empowering beliefs, like, for example, when I take time to take care of myself, not only do I benefit and feel better, but so do my loved ones and everyone around me. This is a belief system that we can start to bring in. This new belief will support the introduction of new healthy habits, like self-massage every day, that support you in being the best version of yourself. This is where working with an experienced coach can be incredibly valuable. A coach can help you uncover and shift these hidden limiting beliefs, providing guidance and support as you build your new healthy habits. They help you see patterns you might not notice on your own, making changes easier and faster to your behavior and your perception of life. With the right awareness and tools, you can relatively easily reprogram your mindset. And I say that again, you can relatively easy reprogram your mindset to support a lifestyle that energizes you and is fulfilling and sustainable. So now, how do we shift our mindset? Remember how we said it's easy to become disconnected from our own bodies because our mind thinks it's more important than the body? And that we also said self-touch is a simple yet very powerful daily practice that can impact every aspect of your life. This is because when we bring awareness, our focus and attention to our body, away from our mind into our body, it has a very powerful impact. This is how we shape our mindset. Very simply, by bringing awareness back to our bodies. All right, I'm hoping there'll be some questions in that. But first, I'm going to give you a few examples of how transformations in real life occur. So small daily changes lead to profound shifts. I had one client who came to me struggling with anxiety and repeated patterns of toxic relationships, and he was unhappy in his career. So he had a trifecta of stuff going on. One of the things I encouraged him to do was to start practicing Abhyanga for 5 minutes every morning. So that's the morning self-massage. So along with the coaching, within weeks, he started to recognize that his subconscious belief of putting other people's needs before his own self-care, and he began creating boundaries and went on to be an advocate for his own needs. So he started to really notice where putting his own needs first became beneficial in his life. In this, he was able to see patterns in other relationships that he had that he was blind to, and he got clear also on what he wanted for his career. He recently told me, I am now in the most fulfilling relationship I have experienced by doing this. And it sounds crazy, but that Abhyanga, that self-massage, really had a big impact on his self-love and realizing how important it is to take care of yourself. For another client of mine who was suffering from depression, the first time she did the touch discovery exercise, she broke out into tears. It had been a long time since she had been touched, and she realized two things. One, how good it felt to touch herself, as well as how much she had been numbing herself as a result of living alone for many years. It opened up a deep discussion between us about subconscious misguided beliefs that she formed as a child in response as a defense mechanism, a survival mechanism that resulted from experiences of some neglect that she had gone through. So this opened the door for her to heal from things that she had been numbing herself from for a very long time, and for us to begin rebuilding a new healthy belief system that she could reclaim her personal power from and take care of herself and create her best life. And for me personally, I have used these techniques to recover from a long history of depression and anxiety myself that started in my childhood. I also profoundly reconnected to myself through the touch discovery practice. It's one of my favorites. The more that I integrated self-touch in many different aspects into my daily routine, the more empowered and confident I felt to live life unapologetically with authenticity from me. For me, self-touch is a daily practice that helps me to always remember and rejoice in the pure essence of who I am as a human being in this body. This body is carrying me through this world, and touching it is so important. All right, so now I invite you to start small. As a habit change coach that I believe in daily habits, habit change is most effective when you start with the smallest possible change you can make that requires as little effort as possible. And you know that you can, without a doubt, succeed in keeping your commitment to whatever it is that you're deciding to do for yourself. So I invite you to choose one self-touch practice that we discussed today and commit to doing it once, twice, 3, 4 times a week, maybe even just for 1 minute. But I invite you to write down which exercise felt good to you today and what you could start with right away. And it could be as simple as saying to yourself, you know what, after I brush my teeth in the morning or at night, I'm going to practice touching my arms for 1 minute and see how that feels, or squeezing my eyebrows for 1 minute, because that feels good. And I know that I've been using my eyebrows all day long. experience after the fact, if you would like to send me a message. You can see my email, my WhatsApp number down there. Zero obligation. I would just love to hear that it's helping. It's helping, and I'm spreading this out into the world, that we can start to feel better in our bodies. And if you are interested in diving deeper, I would love to guide you. I offer personalized coaching to help you integrate these self-care practices into your life in a sustainable way, meaning they will last forever. You will walk away from any work we do together with habits that you will want to have in your life every single day. So you can reach me by email and WhatsApp, like I just said. And I invite you to create a lifestyle that nourishes you from the inside out. All right, so let's talk now. If anybody, and I saw some questions come up, let's have a look at those.
Yeah.
Or if you'd like to share anything you experienced, I would love to see that. So I'm going to stop the share,
Awesome.
coming back to the screen.
I'm gonna join you here. All right. Well, thank you, Natalie, for that. And yeah, so we have one question. I wrote down a couple of things too, and think we can use these last 10 minutes that we have so we can chat a little. But well, first, Mark answered a few minutes ago about being more self-conscious and taking time to look inside. And Andrea was asking, how can she start being more self-aware of what she do, the decisions she makes, or even how she reacts?
Yeah. So first, Mark, being more self-conscious and taking time to look inside, yes. And this is, again, not something that we think about necessarily. And same with Andrea's question, right? They kind of go together. We
Mhm.
don't necessarily think about being self-aware or taking notice. And that's where practice comes in. So putting a reminder on your phone could be something really simple to say, you know what, maybe 3 times a day, I'm going to just take a stop and notice, like, how am I feeling right now? And that I'm going to encourage you, that simple technique we did in the practice of relaxing the face, releasing the tongue from the top of the mouth, immediately puts you in a moment of presence. This is a wonderful technique that every time I teach this in a yoga class or just in a workshop, people always come up to me after and they're like, man, I didn't realize how much my tongue was glued to the top of my mouth all day long. So, how to have more self-awareness? Notice your tongue. This, I mean, this is a $1 million gift. When you start to notice this, you're going to start to automatically bring more awareness into your life about how you feel.
Awesome. Thank you, Natalie. Well,
Yeah.
and
And I think that
Andrea.
answers to both of their
Yeah,
comments.
absolutely. Let us know in the chat if you have any further question. Then we have Sun here who also left a question. How can I
Yeah.
lessen
How can
negative feelings and mindsets or such?
Yeah, how can I lessen negative feelings? Here's the thing about negative feelings. We are programmed in our human minds to notice negative things more than we notice positive things. And this is a survival mechanism that we have as human beings to see threats and danger. So we automatically, in our psyche, notice negative things more than positive things, almost 10 to 1. Actually, it's closer to 13. They say it's somewhere between 10 and 13 times more likely to notice negative things to positive things. You're welcome, Andrea. Thank you so much. So what we need to do to start to notice more positive things in our life or shift our mindset from negative to positive is to start noticing positive things in our everyday. And a daily gratitude practice is really great for this. It's something you might have heard of before when we talk about mindfulness. We want to have gratitude, and writing down 5 to 10 things of gratitude every day can help you to shift that mindset. You're going to start to notice more positive things. If gratitude kind of feels awkward to you, you can also just say 10 things that I was happy about today, or 10 things that made me smile today, or anything that creates this positive reaction in you, that you start to notice them every day. I'm a big advocate of journaling. So start a journal and every day write down 5 to 10 things that you're grateful for, and your mindset will start to shift from negative to positive without a doubt within a couple of days. It's mind-blowing.
Right. Thank you so much, Natalie San. Also, let us know if that worked. If you have any follow-up question, also, just to sum up what you have shared with us. Um, I wrote down um something about the self-conscious part that you were mentioning. Like the questioning yourself, the why am I that way? Why do I react this way? As Andrea was asking, to certain ways. How do I work the self-awareness? And you mentioned something very, very interesting and funny about that. I was just talking about that last night with a friend on how we are who we were raised by. We inherited ways of thinking, ways of reacting, ways of just existing. If we want to be like very, very, very broad. Um, with your experience, have you seen that this is a pattern? And is it hard for people to get to that point of realization that okay, this was my upbringing, but I can do something now. Maybe I cannot change my mom, my dad, my grandparent, whoever raised me, but I can start doing those changes by myself.
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. To me, it is the foundation of why so many people are unhappy in their life.
Mhm.
My teacher actually has this phrase. He says um, that we continue life by, how does he say it? We're living by dead people's rules.
Mhm.
Right? Our ancestors have passed, and not to disrespect, it's not to say that they were wrong, but times are different. Evolution, what existed 100 years ago is so different from today. You look at the internet and AI and our global connectivity, thanks to schools like you that connect cultures and people and across the world, which is wonderful. We didn't have that 100 years ago, right? It didn't work like that. And so, but in our upbringing, we often take for granted those things. And as children, we learn by example. We learn by watching the people that are around us. Not even words are necessary. We learn by watching a lot of the time. And so we ingrain these thinkings that, as I was saying, are misinterpreted or maybe outdated and don't fit anymore. So as adults, when we become adults, and we don't learn this in school, but we should, as adults, we need to start questioning how we were raised. And not to say that it was wrong, but to ask ourselves, does this fit for me? Is this true for me today in my environment? And I'll give you the example that I was raised in Canada. I'm Canadian. And when I turned 40, I decided that I didn't want to be in the cold anymore. I was not made for that. This was something that said no. And so I moved to Central America, and I immersed myself in a new culture where I was a minority, and their customs became part of my customs, right? It became my family. It became my home where I was. And so it's okay for us to question where we came from and ask, does this fit me? Does it feel right to me? A lot of reason why people have anxiety and depression is because we are always trying to fit in. We always want to belong. We want to feel a sense of connection. But in searching for the connection outside of ourselves, we often neglect the connection within us that when we ask ourselves, is this truly what feels good to me? Or am I just doing it because of how I was cultured and how I was raised? As soon as we start to break that, a whole new world opens up to us.
And I think it's when you start questioning these things, then it just becomes like and it's sort of like an unstoppable train thought, because then you keep questioning. You start that, you
Right,
begin that journey. Okay, why am I like this? But where does it come from? Okay, but why did it happen to that person? Why do they have to be that way? So then you start to, I think, understand more, not only yourself, but then your loved ones and the world in general, I guess. It turns you into like
right.
more empathic person at the end of the journey.
Absolutely, absolutely. But I will put a little caveat there that when we do open that can of worms, it can be very scary and
Absolutely.
disturbing
Mhm.
because we start to look back and go, oh my gosh, all this time I've been living in this way
Mhm.
and it didn't feel right to me and I did it anyway. And so it's really important that we open that door to say, there's people out here to help you through those things. And whether it's myself as a coach, psychologist, therapist. There are professional people that can help you to open that door because it really is a big door that is wonderful and exciting, but can feel very scary sometimes as well. So I do want to make sure that that information gets out there that when you go through that, if you have that fear, please, please, please reach out to somebody and have a guide to help you through those things and navigate those things. You can absolutely do it on yourself by yourself, but it can be very challenging. So please reach out to people and find some help.
Yes, I think that's key. That's key to close this topic that we were talking. I just want to acknowledge what Michelle shared on the chat. She said, "Thank you for your suggestion on journal writing. There are times I neglect to see
Yeah.
the positive things when writing. It really helped me when I lost a really close person in my life. And I would write maybe not like good things start at the beginning, but eventually it helped also to realize, first to let go, but also realize I did good with this person, like
Right.
there are no grudges, there are no regrets, there are no resentments, because all the memories are good. But I think when you start like physically seeing it, I think is when it
Yeah.
helps. That's the trick there, I think.
Yeah. And physically writing it down, typing is okay, but when you actually put pen to paper, it activates a different part of your brain and helps make those connections as well, too. Yeah, that's beautiful.
Great. Well,
Thank you for
Natalie, thank
sharing
you.
that. Yeah.
Yes, and thank you for your time, for joining us, for being part of the whole process. Also, we've been talking for a few weeks already. So it
Yeah.
has been great to have you to that you accepted and you agreed to be part of this. I really hope who has been here connected has learned something, are leaving this webinar with, I don't know, some feeling or or movement, to look for movement, which I think it's always very important to move, to not be comfortable sometimes, or to
Yeah.
find new things to reconnect with, which is, I think, at the end of the day, the key and the core of this talk and what you have shared with us. So we really appreciate it, and we're very grateful.
Thank you. It's absolutely my pleasure to be here. And thank you to all the participants for being here today as well and commenting and sharing questions and experiences. I think that the more that we can share what's going on with us, the more that we can live in a healthy way, in an authentic way, and support each other through rediscovering ourselves and creating a life we love.